everybody, François JDR D30, and making, responding to a series of questions that was sent by Condor DM a while back. This time is for Game Masters or Dungeon Masters. I was tagged by Nolinquisitor and Jeremiah McCoy to respond to this series, so I have a couple, sometimes ahead of me. I will try to get through those questions, but it might be long. I might do some kind of an index below to get to the questions individually. So we'll begin. What do you call player agency? Well, it's the freedom a player has, as simple as that. The freedom the freedom they are allowed to take in a game. Okay, it's about when you prepare a game, the kind of social contract you may have around the game, the type of game, the type of rules you're playing in. Well, that's the freedom you have within that. That's how I would define the player's agency. Basically, question 2: What does railroading mean to you if you do apply it? If you're not, can you say why? Well, railroading may mean in an adventure going from point A to point B the game master's way. Okay, it may mean that, you know, the adventure, their player are in place A, they have to go to B, and between that it was how the game master planned it, and it's how he imposed it to the player. That might be some kind of railroading to me. It may have many scales. It may be a railroading through a whole adventure, a whole campaign, or just a scene. But these are scenes that are played the game master's way. That's what railroading means. If I apply it, if I have to apply it, I try not to make it my way. You know, if I really want my player to go to point B, I'll play it out to make the player feel involved into the scene and make the scene their way. Okay, I can say that I try not to apply it, but in a sense, whether or not I want them to go to point B, they have to do it their way. And as a game master, I try to put the scenes forward to make them feel that they can do it their way. That it's not illusion of choice, but it's to have choices that fits their character concept and how they want to play their character. That's how I see it. 3. How does it feel for you when you have had a bad session? Oh man. I'm upset. Okay, I'm looking forward to have good sessions all the time. You know, well, it's normal. We want to do good stuff. I feel I'm upset and I'm worried if the players want to get back the next session or not. You know, I have lost players in the past many times because I was just bad for an adventure, and I knew that I could do it better. You know, thinking about it, rethinking about it. I have a whole series on Vimeo on the 2 burnouts that I had, and analyzing everything I had to, because I had to. I want to deliver good sessions, and and when I'm not able to, I'm upset. I think about it, and that's how I feel. Question 4. How do you handle bad players? What are some ways you could describe behavior or bad player in your view? Well, a player that is always out of it. Okay, a bad player is someone who is not interested. Okay, first of all, maybe he's not a bad player, but someone not interested in the game should just not be around the table, and that's as simple as that. So how do I handle that? Well, I don't invite them. Uh, when it comes to having a player around the table that is bad, well, I question him. Why are you doing these bad behavior? Why are you doing it that way? And explain to him why he should behave better in the benefit not only of him but of the group. Why, I really stop the game sometimes because sometimes I had public gaming with some players at my local library, and I had to stop the game at some time to sit down with the player. Hey, just look around. People here don't like the way you play. He was always out of it, saying silly jokes, and when he was rolling dice, he made sure that the dice were falling everywhere, that it was disturbing the game. And at some point, I really stopped the game to know, it's your choice. Do you want to play or not? I said to him, me, I want you to play with me. But are you ready to play? Okay, and just open his mind in what is playing, okay? What is playing, what it means playing. Just being there and being in a happy mood. It's more than that. You have to be involved in the game. So I stopped and I said, I want you to play with me, but are you ready to play, to really play? And then talking with him, what is playing? Playing is being involved, listen to the others, having a respect for what's going on around the table and not disturbing everyone. That's how I see it. What's a good player in your opinion? Question 5. And what are some of the things good players do? They're involved. They are forward into what they are playing. They're not waiting necessarily for me to describe everything. They can take some parts of it, and they are in character. They try to be in character. Okay, we can have out of game jokes, but we can get back easily in the game without being disturbed by those jokes. Good player, someone who knows, well, who's not searching on his sheet for half an hour. I'm very happy with that. It does not mean that they are bad players, but I like it when they roll forward. They roll before the game master asks for it in combat. When it's their turn, they know what to do. They if they are in the game, they will be able to be efficient in the game. But it's being involved, playing in character, and being interested. I think it's just being there. When you are around the table, you are playing. And for me, that's only what I ask for a player, for being a good player. 6. How do you handle splitting up a group, if you do? If not, can you say why? Well, splitting a group, I have no problems with that. It's the player's choice. If they want to split, they do. And I try to divide the scenes equally between different parties, and trying to be coherent with the time lapse for the splitting. But I have no problems in splitting a group. If it's what they wanted to do, so be it. But everyone may sit around the same table while splitting a group, and I think the players I usually have don't metagame the stuff. If a group discovered something that the other group should not, they won't spoil. They will play it in the right way, and they will make they will play it as if they don't know. Okay. So So splitting up a group, no problem with that. I think it's part of it may be part of a story or something like that. I have no problems. 7. What do you prefer more? Interaction roleplay, combat puzzles, trap, or a mix? I've responded to that in my players video. You can check out. I will put the link of the players tag. I have a detailed answer to that. But my favorite is roleplay. I think it's the thing that makes those games difference. And yeah, so Joe, check out the other video for a more detailed detailed answer. 8. Do you tinker with the rule set you use or use it as written, and would you please explain why? Well, I tinker with the rules. I try to play it as they are, okay, most of it. But at some point, if I feel the need, I will change something in it and inform the players of the change. It's just to why do I do that? Is to have the right tone in my view, okay? If we're playing, it's very personal role playing games. I like to play in settings that is already existing. Right now I'm running advanced fighting fantasy stuff, so the fighting fantasy world has a tone, and for me it has some kind of a tone to it. The game that I use is very good. Advanced fighting fantasy for me is perfect. It recreates the tone of the game, but some aspect of it I felt that in my view could have been a little different, so I bring some variance of the rule. I try not to broke a rule set. I try to keep the core intact and just bring some stuff around to bring the tone as how I view what I have to run. Okay, it's just to be comfortable with the rules and being comfortable with the idea that the rules will pull out what I need to get the feel of the setting. So that's why. 9. Do you mind running NPCs with a group of player characters? I use that once in a while, but I don't like that much. The last time I really had to do that, it was because we had not much players around the table, and I had to put at least one character to go with them. Well, it was a fun character. I really liked the character itself, but at some point it's cumbersome. I have other stuff to do than to run an NPC in the group. But yeah, there can be NPCs that can be in the group once in a while for some reasons. But being part of the party, being a permanent member of the party, I'm not that sure. Okay, I don't like that much. But if I have to, I will. I have no problems with that. 10. Thoughts on campaigns and one-shots. Do you prefer one more than the other, or are you fine with either? Well, running one-shots, I do that once in a while. I like that. It makes me discover a new game system. But often it's more in trying game systems than being immersed in the setting. Although I ran some one-shots of Metamorphosis Alpha in the last couple of months, and yeah, I would want to do a campaign. If I do a one-shot of something, and then I like the setting, I want to do a campaign. So yeah, I prefer campaigns. Yeah, so I can do both. I'm ready to do one shots. I will do one shots, but in the end, campaigns win for me. 11. How much fantasy versus realism do you apply in most of your games? It depends. It depends. Usually I run stuff that already exists. I run games that are inspired from a canon. I may run Elric, Fighting Fantasy, Star Wars. Okay, I don't play that much homebrew stuff, so I will go with the amount of fantasy and realism that goes with the canon. Okay, I will inspire myself from the source, and if I have to create something, it will be inspired by something that I like. I like to have lots of realism. Well, I like low fantasy stuff usually, but yeah, I like high realism, but not with lots of rule managing the realism. That's what I have to say with question 11. Question 12. Do you prefer running modules, hacking modules, or running with your own story? I like to play modules. Okay, I like to play modules, but I rarely play modules alone like that. There's always a context around the modules. I like to have a campaign and having a series of modules into it. And yeah, I will hack the modules to make it fit the campaign, how the campaign is going. So I can say that I hack modules a lot, just to make them fit the right way into the story, into the campaign, and make them fit with the world around the player characters that are there. So yeah, I don't run modules by itself unless it's a one shot. And running my own story, yeah, I run my own story between that, but usually I don't. I used to write lots of stuff when I was creating a story, but when I run my own story, it's a half a page text, and that's all there is. I don't add much stuff to it. So yeah, I will improvise a lot around that. I like to hack modules, inspire myself from them, to have some kind of a frame to do whatever I want with them. Question 13. What game system has gotten you the best result? Tell us about it. D6 system. Western games, D6 system, for me it's very instinctive. I can do whatever I want. I don't need the books to run it. I don't use it right now. I'm much into something else, but if I have to go easily to a game system as a game master, D6 system, I can teach it easily, and for me, D6 system wins it. You will see me do eventually videos about the D6 system and having something written about how I do it. I don't talk about it that much, but I will have series of video eventually talking about the D6 system and my love for it. 14. What method has gotten you the best results? Tell us about it. I don't know what to answer. Spontaneously, I don't know what to answer there. What method has gotten you the best result? Listening to the players. Yeah. Listening to the players. That's all that I have to. I think the best results are there. The best adventure comes from there. Being inspired by the players and letting them the place to be inspired themselves to bring something onto the table. Listening to them, and I think it's all about it. No, listening to the players. I know it's not even the game system or all of that. Yeah, we need a game system that allows lots of freedom in the interaction between the players around the table. Yeah, not having a rule that stops you and makes you flip through the books. You have to have that feeling of a flow of interaction, and as being a game master, listening to the players. That's all I have to say. 15. What got you to running these kind of games? Well, when I discovered Dungeons and Dragons, that was the top for me. After being a big fighting fantasy game book reader in the 80s, I discovered Dungeons and Dragons through a small event at my local library and never got back from it again. That's all. I wanted to, creating your stuff, having a story, having players, heroes into it, and not knowing what's going to be next in the story, seeing the hero being better from game to game. Yeah, that's what got me into running this kind of games. Who are you tagging? I have a written list somewhere, and it will be written below. Those persons will be tagged. And these are persons that have not been tagged yet, and I would be very interested in knowing what they have to say about it. So, thank you, Condor DM, for sending this series of questions. It was a pleasure responding them. And for you at home, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. François Letard, JDR D30. See you next time. Bye.